the intricate web of disempowering thoughts and how they can obstruct the flow of abundance into our lives. Our thoughts hold immense power. They shape our perception of reality and influence the outcomes we experience. When we entertain thoughts of lack, limitation, and scarcity, we unwittingly create barriers that prevent abundance from flowing freely into our lives. Imagine your mind as a fertile garden, ready to receive the seeds you plant within it. If you sow seeds of negativity and scarcity, you will inevitably reap a harvest of despair and lack. Conversely, if you cultivate a mindset of abundance, you'll find that opportunities abound at every turn. But how do we break free from the grip of disempowering thoughts? It all begins with awareness. Take a moment to observe the thoughts that occupy your mind on a daily basis. Are they uplifting and empowering, or are they steeped in negativity and limitation? Once you've identified the patterns of thought that are holding you back, it's time to take action. Replace disempowering thoughts with empowering ones. Practice gratitude daily by focusing on the abundance that already exists in your life. Shift your perspective from one of scarcity to one of abundance, and watch as your reality begins to mirror your newfound mindset. Remember, you have the power to choose the thoughts you entertain. By consciously cultivating a mindset of abundance, you'll create a fertile soil in which abundance can take root and flourish. Fear is perhaps the greatest obstacle to abundance. When we operate from a place of fear, we contract our energy and block the flow of abundance into our lives. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of scarcity, these emotions keep us stuck in a cycle of lack and limitation. But here's the thing about fear. It's often based on false evidence appearing real. We allow ourselves to be consumed by worst-case scenarios and hypotheticals, when in reality, most of what we fear never comes to pass. So why do we allow fear to hold such power over us? The answer lies in our biology. Our brains are hardwired to prioritize survival, which means they're constantly on the lookout for potential threats. While this served us well in ancient times when danger lurked around every corner, in today's modern world, our brains often perceive non-threatening situations as threats, triggering the fear response unnecessarily. But here's the good news: we have the power to override our fear response. It all begins with awareness. When you notice yourself slipping into a state of fear, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this fear based on reality, or is it simply my mind playing tricks on me? Once you've identified the source of your fear, it's time to confront it head-on. Challenge the irrational beliefs that underpin your fear and replace them with more empowering ones. Practice self-compassion and remind yourself that it's okay to feel afraid. It's how you respond to that fear that truly matters. Choose love over fear. Cultivate emotions such as gratitude, joy, and compassion, which expand your energy and open you up to the abundance of the universe. Remember, where there is love, there is no room for fear. Many of us have a tendency to micromanage every aspect of our lives, believing that we can control the outcome through sheer willpower. But the truth is, the more we try to control, the more we resist the natural flow of abundance. Surrender to the unknown and trust in the wisdom of the universe. Release the need to control every outcome, and instead allow life to unfold organically. When you relinquish control, you create space for miracles to occur. Our past experiences shape our beliefs, which in turn shape our reality. But if we're not careful, we can become prisoners of our own conditioning, repeating the same patterns and expecting different results. Break free from the shackles of your past by challenging limiting beliefs and embracing new possibilities. The past does not dictate your future unless you allow it to. Choose to rewrite your story and create a future filled with abundance. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded with messages of instant gratification and quick fixes. We live in a society that values speed and convenience above all else, and as a result, we've become accustomed to seeking immediate satisfaction in every aspect of our lives. But true abundance is not found in material possessions or fleeting pleasures. It's cultivated through patience, persistence, and dedication. The temptation of instant gratification may offer temporary relief, but it ultimately leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled. So how do we resist the allure of instant gratification and embrace delayed gratification instead? It all begins with a shift in mindset. Rather than focusing on short-term pleasures, cultivate a long-term vision for your life. Set meaningful goals that align with your values and aspirations and commit to taking consistent action towards their attainment. Practice patience and perseverance in the face of adversity. Understand that true abundance takes time to manifest, and that the journey is just as important as the destination. Embrace the process of growth and development, knowing that each step forward brings you closer to your goals. It's human nature to compare ourselves to others. From a young age, we're taught to measure our worth based on external markers of success, such as wealth, status, and appearance. But the truth is, comparison is the thief of joy. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we rob ourselves of the ability to fully appreciate our own unique gifts and talents. Comparison often leads to feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness. We look at the highlight reels of other people's lives and wonder why ours doesn't measure up. But what we fail to realize is that we're only seeing a small portion of the picture. Behind every success story lies a journey filled with challenges, setbacks, and hard work. So how do we break free from the trap of comparison and embrace our own uniqueness? It all begins with self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect on the ways in which you compare yourself to others. Notice the thoughts and emotions that arise when you engage in this pattern of behavior. Once you've identified the source of your comparison, it's time to shift your focus inward. Celebrate your own unique gifts and talents, knowing that you possess strengths and abilities that are entirely your own. Embrace your individuality and trust that you are worthy of all the abundance life has to offer. Practice self-compassion and cultivate a sense of gratitude for the blessings in your life. Understand that everyone's journey is unique, and that there is no one-size-fits-all definition of success. By embracing your own uniqueness and celebrating the successes of others, you'll create a more joyful and fulfilling life for yourself. Scarcity mindset is a self-fulfilling prophecy that perpetuates a cycle of lack and limitation. When we believe that there's not enough to go around, we unconsciously repel abundance from our lives. We operate from a place of fear and scarcity, hoarding resources and closing ourselves off from opportunities for growth and expansion. But here's the truth: abundance is not a finite resource. The universe is infinitely abundant, and there is more than enough to go around for everyone. When we shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. So how do we break free from the trap of scarcity mindset and embrace abundance instead? It all begins with awareness. Take a moment to notice the ways in which scarcity mindset manifests in your life. Notice the thoughts and beliefs that underpin this mindset and how they influence your behavior and decisions. Once you've identified the patterns of scarcity mindset, it's time to challenge them. Practice gratitude daily by focusing on the abundance that already exists in your life. Shift your perspective from one of lack to one of abundance, and watch as your reality begins to mirror your newfound mindset. Change is inevitable. It's a natural part of life, yet many of us resist it out of fear of the unknown. We cling to the familiar even if it no longer serves us because it feels safe and comfortable. But the truth is, when we resist change, we block the flow of abundance into our lives. Embrace change as an opportunity for growth and expansion. Trust that the universe has a plan for you, and be open to receiving the gifts it has in store. Remember, the only constant in life is change, so why not embrace it with open arms? It's natural to feel apprehensive about change, especially when it involves stepping outside of your comfort zone. But understand that growth and expansion lie on the other side of fear. When you embrace change and allow yourself to be guided by the flow of life, you open yourself up to a world of endless possibilities and opportunities for growth. Practice self-compassion and patience as you navigate the waters of change. Understand that change takes time, and that it's okay to feel uncertain or afraid. Trust in the process and know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Fear is a powerful force that can dictate our actions and cloud our judgment. When we gift ourselves the emotion of fear, we are essentially programming our minds for scarcity and limitation. Instead of embracing the vast potential of the universe, we shrink ourselves into a narrow existence dictated by what we perceive as threats and dangers. Fear operates on a primal level within us, triggering the fight or flight response in the face of perceived danger. This response served our ancestors well in times of genuine threat, allowing them to survive in a hostile world. However, in our modern society, where physical dangers are relatively rare, fear often manifests in subtler forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Yet, regardless of its form, fear has a profound impact on our psyche. It clouds our judgment, distorts our perceptions, and limits our potential. When we operate from a place of fear, we are unable to see beyond our immediate circumstances. We become trapped in a cycle of negativity, unable to break free and pursue our dreams. But here's the truth: fear is nothing more than a story we tell ourselves. It's a narrative we construct based on past experiences, future projections, and societal conditioning. And like any story, it can be rewritten. Overcoming fear is awareness. We must shine a light on the fears that lurk in the shadows of our minds, bringing them into the open where they can be examined and understood. By acknowledging our fears, we rob them of their power over us. We must challenge the validity of our fears. Are they based on objective reality, or are they merely figments of our imagination? Often we'll find that our fears are rooted in irrationality. They're products of our overactive minds, not genuine threats to our well-being. We must choose courage over fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. It's the recognition that growth and transformation lie on the other side of our fears. When we confront our fears head-on, we reclaim our power and open ourselves up to new possibilities. Let go of the stories that hold you back and step boldly into the unknown. For it is only by facing our fears that we can truly experience the abundance that life has to offer. Impatience is another gift we must learn to avoid if we seek abundance. When we constantly yearn for immediate results, we rob ourselves of the joy of the journey. True abundance is not about instant gratification. It's about trusting the process and allowing our dreams to unfold in their own time. In our fast-paced society, patience has become a rare commodity. We're accustomed to instant access to information, instant communication with others, and instant gratification in all areas of our lives. As a result, we've lost touch with the natural rhythms of the universe, which operate on a much slower timescale. But here's the thing about impatience: it's a form of resistance. When we're impatient, we're essentially saying to the universe, I don't trust you to deliver my desires in your own time. We're trying to force outcomes rather than allowing them to unfold organically. The irony is that the more we push and strive for our goals, the further away they seem to slip. It's like trying to grasp a handful of sand. The tighter we squeeze, the more it slips through our fingers. True abundance comes when we surrender to the flow of life, trusting that the universe knows what's best for us. So how do we cultivate patience in a world that values speed and efficiency above all else? It starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing delays and obstacles as roadblocks, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. The gift of control. It's a tempting one, isn't it? We believe that by controlling every aspect of our lives, we can ensure our desired outcomes. But in reality, this need for control only serves to imprison us within the confines of our own expectations. True abundance comes when we surrender to the flow of life, trusting that the universe has our best interests at heart. Control is rooted in fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of loss. We cling to control as a means of protecting ourselves from these perceived threats, believing that if we can just micromanage every detail of our lives, we can avoid pain and suffering. But the truth is, control is an illusion. No matter how hard we try, we can never control every aspect of our lives. There will always be unforeseen events, unexpected twists and turns that are beyond our control. And the more we try to resist these realities, the more we suffer. So how do we release the gift of control? It starts with surrender. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to fate. It means letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes and trusting in a higher power. Surrendering is an act of faith that the universe is always conspiring in our favor, even when things don't go according to plan. It's about relinquishing the need to control and allowing life to unfold in its own magical way. Our beliefs shape our reality more than we realize. When we gift ourselves with limiting beliefs, those thoughts that tell us we're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough, we create barriers to abundance. It's time to release these self-imposed limitations and embrace the boundless potential that lies within each of us. Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains that bind us to a life of mediocrity. They whisper in our ears, telling us that we're not worthy of success, that we don't deserve happiness, that we'll never amount to anything. And the more we listen to these whispers, the more they become our reality. But here's the truth: our beliefs are not set in stone. They are simply stories we've been telling ourselves for so long that we've come to accept them as truth. And like any story, they can be rewritten. Overcoming limiting beliefs is awareness. We must become conscious of the thoughts that run on autopilot in our minds, questioning their validity and challenging their authority over us. By shining a light on these beliefs, we can begin to dismantle them piece by piece. We must replace our limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," we can affirm, "I am worthy and deserving of all the abundance life has to offer." Instead of saying, "I'll never succeed," we can affirm, "I am capable of achieving my dreams and more." But affirmations alone are not enough. We must embody the truth of our new beliefs, living as if they were already true. This means taking inspired action towards our goals, even in the face of doubt and uncertainty. It means stepping out of our comfort zones and into the unknown, trusting that the universe will support us every step of the way. Attachment is a gift that often masquerades as security. We cling to our possessions, our relationships, our identities, fearing that without them, we'll be lost. But true abundance stems from a sense of inner freedom, the ability to detach from the material world and find fulfillment within ourselves. Attachment is born out of the belief that our happiness and well-being are dependent on external circumstances. We believe that if we just acquire enough money, possessions, or status, we'll finally be happy. But the truth is, external things can never truly fulfill us. They can only provide temporary satisfaction. The problem with attachment is that it blinds us to the abundance that already exists within and around us. When we're constantly grasping for more, we fail to appreciate the beauty and richness of the present moment. We become slaves to our desires, unable to experience true freedom and joy. But here's the good news: we have the power to release attachment and reclaim our freedom. It starts with recognizing that nothing in this world is permanent, not our possessions, not our relationships, not even our own identities. Everything is in a constant state of flux, and the sooner we accept this truth, the sooner we can find peace. We must cultivate a sense of gratitude for what we already have. Instead of focusing on what's lacking in our lives, we can shift our attention to all the blessings that surround us: our health, our loved ones, the beauty of nature. When we approach life with an attitude of gratitude, we open ourselves up to even more abundance. Resistance is perhaps the most insidious gift of all. When we resist change, growth, and transformation, we stagnate in a state of mediocrity. Abundance requires us to embrace the unknown, to lean into discomfort, and to trust in the universe's infinite wisdom. Resistance is the voice of our ego, the part of us that seeks to maintain the status quo at all costs. It tells us that change is dangerous, that stepping outside of our comfort zones will only lead to pain and suffering. And so we cling to familiarity, even if it means sacrificing our dreams in the process. Growth and transformation require us to embrace discomfort. They require us to push past our perceived limitations and expand into the fullness of who we are. And while change may be scary, it is also the catalyst for growth and evolution. One of the most intriguing aspects of human potential, the placebo effect. This phenomenon offers profound insights into the intricate relationship between our minds and bodies, revealing the immense power of belief in shaping our experiences and outcomes. You're suffering from chronic pain, and your doctor prescribes a new medication. As you swallow the pill, you're filled with hope and expectation that relief is on its way. Remarkably, within minutes, you begin to feel a reduction in your pain levels. But here's the twist: the pill you took was nothing more than a harmless sugar pill, devoid of any active ingredients. Yet your mind's belief in its healing potential was enough to trigger real physiological changes within your body. This is the essence of the placebo effect, the remarkable ability of belief to elicit tangible changes in our physical and emotional well-being. Through countless studies and experiments, researchers have demonstrated time and again the profound impact that our beliefs and expectations can have on our health and healing. But what exactly is happening at the level of the mind and body to produce such remarkable effects? To understand this, we need to explore the intricate interplay between our thoughts, emotions, and physiology. At its core, the placebo effect operates through the power of suggestion, the idea that our minds can influence our bodies in ways that defy conventional explanation. When we believe in the efficacy of a treatment, whether it's a medication, therapy, or even a ritual, our brains release a cascade of neurotransmitters and hormones that promote healing and well-being. One of the key neurotransmitters involved in the placebo response is dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter. When we experience positive expectations and beliefs, our brains release dopamine, which not only enhances our mood, but also has profound effects on our perception of pain and discomfort. In addition to dopamine, other neurotransmitters and hormones, such as endorphins and oxytocin, are also involved in the placebo response. Endorphins, often dubbed the body's natural painkillers, are released in response to positive expectations, helping to alleviate discomfort and promote a sense of well-being. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, is released in response to social connection and positive interactions, further enhancing the placebo effect. But here's where it gets truly fascinating: the placebo effect isn't limited to external interventions. We can harness this power within ourselves by cultivating beliefs and perceptions that support our desired outcomes. In other words, we have the ability to become our own placebo, to tap into the inherent healing potential that lies within each of us. But how exactly can we harness the placebo effect in our own lives? How can we cultivate beliefs and expectations that support our health and well-being? The key lies in cultivating a mindset of optimism, hope, and positivity. By consciously choosing to focus on thoughts and beliefs that support our desired outcomes, we can activate the placebo response within ourselves, initiating a cascade of physiological changes that promote healing and well-being. One powerful way to harness the placebo effect is through the practice of visualization and mental rehearsal. By vividly imagining ourselves experiencing our desired outcomes, whether it's healing from an illness, achieving a goal, or overcoming a challenge, we can activate the same neural pathways and physiological responses that would occur if the experience were happening in reality. The concept of conditioning, the process by which our minds associate certain stimuli with specific responses based on past experiences. Just like Pavlov's dog learned to associate the sound of a bell with the arrival of food, we too develop conditioned responses to various cues in our environment. You've experienced failure or disappointment in the past, and now whenever you encounter a similar situation, your body responds with feelings of anxiety or fear. This is conditioning in action. Your mind has learned to associate certain stimuli with negative emotions based on past experiences. But here's the important thing to understand: while conditioning can be a powerful tool for learning and adaptation, it can also lead to the formation of limiting patterns and beliefs that hold us back from realizing our full potential. When we become trapped in these patterns, we may find ourselves repeating the same behaviors and experiencing the same outcomes, regardless of our desires or intentions. So how can we break free from these limiting patterns of conditioning and create new pathways towards abundance and fulfillment? How can we reprogram our minds to align with our highest aspirations and goals? One powerful technique for breaking free from limiting patterns is the practice of conscious awareness and mindfulness. By becoming more attuned to our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can identify the underlying patterns and conditioning that shape our perception of reality. This allows us to consciously choose new responses and behaviors that support our growth and expansion, rather than perpetuating old patterns of limitation. Another effective strategy for breaking free from limiting patterns is the practice of visualization and mental rehearsal. By vividly imagining ourselves breaking free from old patterns and experiencing our desired outcomes, we can activate new neural pathways and physiological responses that support our growth and well-being. This helps to weaken the grip of old patterns and conditioning, while strengthening our connection to new possibilities and opportunities. But perhaps the most important step in breaking free from limiting patterns is the practice of self-compassion and self-love. Often our patterns of conditioning are rooted in deep-seated beliefs of unworthiness or inadequacy. By cultivating a deep sense of love and compassion for ourselves, we can heal these wounds and liberate ourselves from the chains of self-doubt and limitation. The profound influence that expectation and belief have on shaping our experiences and outcomes. As we've discussed, our beliefs act as powerful lenses through which we perceive the world around us, influencing everything from our thoughts and emotions to our actions and behaviors. You hold a deeply ingrained belief that success and abundance are attainable for you. This belief colors your perception of the world, shaping your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways that support your desired outcomes. As a result, you approach challenges with confidence and optimism, knowing deep down that you have the power to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. Our beliefs are not fixed or immutable. They are malleable, capable of being shaped and molded through our thoughts, experiences, and interactions with the world around us. And just as we can cultivate empowering beliefs that support our growth and expansion, we can also identify and challenge limiting beliefs that hold us back from realizing our full potential. So how can we harness the power of expectation and belief to create a life of abundance and fulfillment? How can we cultivate beliefs that support our growth and expansion while releasing those that no longer serve us? One powerful tool for shifting our beliefs is the practice of affirmations and positive self-talk. By consciously choosing to affirm positive beliefs about ourselves and our capabilities, we can reprogram our subconscious minds to align with our desired outcomes. For example, instead of telling ourselves "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed," we can affirm statements such as "I am capable of achieving my goals," and "I deserve to live a life of abundance and fulfillment." The concept of embracing the unknown, of cultivating faith in the infinite potential of the quantum field. As we've discussed, our beliefs and perceptions play a powerful role in shaping our experiences and outcomes, influencing everything from our thoughts and emotions to our actions and behaviors. But what if we were to let go of our attachment to the known, to the familiar, and instead embrace the vast expanse of the unknown? What if we were to cultivate faith in the unseen, trusting in the inherent intelligence and creativity of the universe to guide us towards our highest good? This is where true abundance lies, not in clinging to the past or the known, but in surrendering to the infinite possibilities of the present moment. When we release our need for certainty and control, we open ourselves up to a world of limitless potential and opportunity, where miracles become the norm and abundance flows effortlessly. But how can we cultivate faith in the quantum field? How can we surrender to the unknown and trust in the wisdom of the universe to guide us towards our highest good? One powerful way to cultivate faith in the quantum field is through the practice of surrender and letting go. By releasing our attachment to specific outcomes and trusting in the divine timing and unfolding of events, we create space for miracles to occur in our lives. This requires a willingness to surrender our ego's need for control and certainty and instead trust in the inherent intelligence and wisdom of the universe to guide us towards our highest good. The gifts we inadvertently give ourselves that hinder our journey towards true abundance. In our quest for happiness, success, and fulfillment, we often fall into the trap of seeking external validation or relying on temporary fixes to soothe our internal struggles. But true abundance comes from within, and it requires us to be mindful of the gifts we give ourselves. The realm of external validation, a realm many of us are familiar with, yet one that often leads us astray in our pursuit of true abundance. External validation, in its essence, is the act of seeking approval, recognition, or validation from sources outside of ourselves. It manifests in various forms, from seeking approval from friends, family, or society at large, to striving for material wealth, social status, or accolades. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek validation from external sources. We are taught that our worth and value are contingent upon the approval of others, leading us to constantly seek validation in the form of praise, admiration, or attention. This conditioning becomes deeply ingrained within us, shaping our beliefs, behaviors, and perceptions of ourselves and the world around us. However, as we journey deeper into the realm of self-discovery and self-awareness, we come to realize the inherent limitations of external validation. We recognize that seeking approval or validation from external sources is a futile endeavor, as it leaves us perpetually chasing after an elusive sense of worth or validation that can never be fully attained. True abundance, we come to understand, cannot be found in the fleeting validation of others or the accumulation of external symbols of success. It arises from a deep sense of self-worth, self-love, and self-acceptance that transcends the need for external validation. It is rooted in the realization that our worth and value are inherent and unconditional, regardless of external circumstances or the opinions of others. To break free from the cycle of external validation, we must cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness and self-love. We must learn to validate ourselves from within, recognizing our inherent worth and value independent of external validation. This requires us to let go of the need for approval or validation from others, and to cultivate a deep sense of self-acceptance and self-compassion. The realm of true happiness, a realm often obscured by the allure of temporary pleasures and instant gratification. True happiness, unlike fleeting pleasures, is not dependent on external circumstances or material possessions. Instead, it arises from a deep sense of fulfillment, purpose, and connection to something greater than ourselves. In our consumer-driven society, we are bombarded with messages that equate happiness with material wealth, status, and hedonistic pleasures. We are conditioned to believe that acquiring more possessions, achieving higher social status, or indulging in temporary pleasures will bring us lasting happiness and fulfillment. The nature of happiness, we come to understand that true happiness cannot be found in external sources. It is not a fleeting sensation or a momentary high, but rather a state of being that emanates from within. It is rooted in a deep sense of contentment, gratitude, and inner peace that transcends external circumstances. To experience true happiness, we must shift our focus from chasing external pleasures to cultivating inner fulfillment. This requires us to align our actions with our values, prioritize meaningful experiences over material possessions, and cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the abundance that surrounds us. True happiness, we come to realize, is not something to be pursued or attained, but rather a state of being that emerges when we align ourselves with our true selves and live in harmony with the natural flow of life. It is found in the simple pleasures of everyday life, in moments of connection, creativity, and purpose. Cultivating true happiness, we learn to let go of the incessant need for external validation and approval. We recognize that true happiness cannot be found in the opinions or judgments of others, but rather in the acceptance and love we have for ourselves. In embracing true happiness, we liberate ourselves from the endless cycle of seeking external validation and temporary pleasures. We find fulfillment in the present moment, cherishing the beauty and abundance that surrounds us. And as we cultivate a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for life's blessings, we experience true happiness that transcends the fleeting pleasures of the material world. Now that we have explored the nature of true happiness, let us delve deeper into the importance of embracing it over fleeting pleasures. While temporary pleasures may provide momentary satisfaction, they often leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled in the long run. In contrast, true happiness offers a sense of fulfillment, purpose, and inner peace that cannot be found in external sources. By embracing true happiness, we reclaim our power and agency over our own lives. We no longer rely on external circumstances or material possessions to define our happiness and fulfillment. Instead, we find joy and contentment in the simple pleasures of everyday life, cherishing the beauty and abundance that surrounds us. As we let go of the need for external validation and approval, we cultivate a deep sense of self-love and acceptance. We recognize that true happiness arises from within and commit to nurturing and cultivating our inner sense of fulfillment and purpose. In embracing true happiness, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of seeking external validation and temporary pleasures. We find joy and contentment in the present moment, cherishing the beauty and abundance that surrounds us. And as we align ourselves with our true selves and live in harmony with the natural flow of life, we experience true happiness that transcends the fleeting pleasures of the material world. Let us now turn our attention to the pervasive issue of addiction, a phenomenon that ensnares countless individuals in a cycle of suffering and despair. Addiction, whether to substances, behaviors, or thought patterns, keeps us trapped in a relentless pursuit of external fixes to soothe our internal struggles. At its core, addiction stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of where true relief and fulfillment come from. Instead of addressing the root cause of our pain and discomfort, we turn to temporary fixes that only serve to perpetuate the cycle of addiction. Whether it's turning to substances like drugs or alcohol, engaging in compulsive behaviors like gambling or shopping, or succumbing to negative thought patterns like self-criticism or rumination, addiction takes many forms. But regardless of the form it takes, addiction ultimately stems from a disconnection from our true selves and a misguided attempt to find relief and escape from our inner turmoil. The cycle of addiction begins innocently enough with a temporary escape from reality or relief from emotional pain. But over time, the temporary relief gives way to a vicious cycle of dependency as our brains become desensitized to the pleasure-inducing effects of the addictive substance or behavior. As the cycle of addiction progresses, we find ourselves needing more and more of the addictive substance or behavior to achieve the same level of relief or satisfaction. Our brains become rewired to crave the temporary relief that addiction provides, leading us further down the path of dependency and despair. To break free from the cycle of addiction, we must first acknowledge and confront the underlying issues that drive our addictive behaviors. This requires us to delve deep into our subconscious minds, uncovering the root causes of our pain and suffering, and addressing them with compassion and understanding. By shining a light on the unconscious patterns and beliefs that fuel our addictive behaviors, we can begin to dismantle the cycle of addiction and reclaim our power and agency over our own lives. This requires courage, commitment, and a willingness to confront our inner demons head-on, but the rewards of breaking free from addiction are immeasurable. As we embark on the journey of breaking free from addiction, let us shift our focus to the importance of embracing true healing and transformation. True healing, unlike the temporary relief provided by addiction, is a holistic process that addresses the root causes of our pain and suffering and empowers us to live fulfilling and meaningful lives. The transformative power of embracing the unknown, a concept that may initially evoke fear and uncertainty, but ultimately holds the key to true growth and abundance. The unknown represents uncharted territory, a realm of infinite potential and possibility that lies beyond the confines of our comfort zones. As creatures of habit, we often cling to the familiar even if it no longer serves us. We shy away from uncertainty, preferring the safety and security of the known, even if it means sacrificing our dreams and aspirations in the process. However, true abundance lies on the other side of our comfort zones. It requires us to step into the unknown, face our fears, and embrace the uncertainty of life with courage and resilience. It is only by venturing into the unknown that we can discover our true potential and unlock a future filled with possibility and opportunity. In our relentless pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, we often find ourselves ensnared in the allure of external validation and fleeting pleasures. Yet, hidden within the depths of our being are the gifts that hold the key to true abundance, gifts we often overlook in our quest for validation from external sources. External validation, a familiar territory for many, presents itself as a mirage promising fulfillment through approval and recognition from others. From the earliest stages of our lives, we are conditioned to seek validation externally, believing our worth hinges on the opinions of others. This conditioning shapes our behaviors, driving us to chase after validation in the form of praise, status, or material possessions. However, as we embark on a journey of self-discovery, we come to realize the limitations of external validation. We recognize the futility of seeking worth in the transient opinions of others, understanding that true abundance springs from within. It dawns upon us that our intrinsic value is not contingent upon external validation, but is an inherent birthright, irrespective of external circumstances. In a world inundated with messages equating happiness with material wealth and momentary pleasures, the pursuit of true happiness often takes a back seat. We are bombarded with notions that acquiring more possessions or indulging in fleeting pleasures will pave the path to lasting contentment. Yet true happiness eludes the grasp of external sources. It is not a fleeting sensation, but a profound state of being rooted in inner contentment and gratitude. To experience true happiness, we must shift our focus from external acquisitions to inner fulfillment, cherishing meaningful experiences over material possessions. by aligning our actions with our values and cultivating gratitude for life's blessings, we unlock the door to true happiness. It is not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be embraced, a journey that unfolds in the simple moments of connection and purpose. Addiction, a formidable adversary on the path to abundance, entraps us in a cycle of escapism and despair. Whether it manifests as substance abuse or compulsive behaviors, addiction stems from a misguided attempt to soothe internal turmoil with external fixes. Breaking free from the shackles of addiction demands a courageous confrontation of our inner demons. It requires delving into the depths of our subconscious, unraveling the root causes of our suffering, and addressing them with compassion and understanding. Amidst the tumult of addiction lies the promise of true healing and transformation. Unlike the fleeting relief offered by addiction, true healing is a holistic process that addresses the underlying causes of our pain. It empowers us to transcend our limitations, embracing a future brimming with possibility and opportunity. At the threshold of true abundance stands the unknown and uncharted realm teeming with potential and promise. Stepping into the unknown requires courage, for it challenges us to confront our fears and venture beyond the confines of our comfort zones. Yet it is in embracing the unknown that we unearth our true potential and usher in a future illuminated by abundance. As we relinquish the safety of the known and embrace the uncertainty of life, we embark on a journey of unparalleled growth and discovery.